So, the new Alto 800 from Maruti Suzuki has once again proclaimed a new war in the mostly one-sided battle of the big volumes. We showed you our first impressions of the new Alto 800 last week. While on one level, the Alto 800 will naturally continue the legacy of the car that it's replacing and so most likely remain the undisputed highest selling car, the new launch still raises some pertinent questions about what consumers want in this space. And while you can rightly compare the entry versions of the new Alto 800 to the Tata Nano and even the Chevrolet Spark, the real rival in absolute terms is this car. The Hyundai Eon was indeed designed to take on the Alto. Renault Nissan is working on a similar rival, Honda is too. But Hyundai has definitely got there first. The Eon hasn't been a bestseller like the bigger i10 or the Santro, but it has certainly upped the ante.
It's along the sides that it reminds you of the old Alto, but of course otherwise the looks are completely different. And last week my colleague Bala was very kind when he said the looks are inspired. I'm going to come out and say it. The looks are very much like the Ford Figo. It's like somebody took a Figo and squished it from the sides. The headlamp going upwards and this big feature up front, the big mouth, very much like Ford's kinetic styling. And in fact that bit of the bumper kind of reminds you of Hyundai's fluidic styling too, isn't it? Take a look at this. The Eon. That is going to be the big rival. It's when the Eon came to the market that the old 800 Alto started to look really, really dated. And so, full marks for styling to Hyundai with its fluidic sculpture. On the 800 Alto, somehow some of this looks a little bit forced. However, it's the pricing that's going to play the crucial role. And so, let's quickly check out the new prices on the Alto 800.
And this is where Maruti always trumps the competition, isn't it? The prices have surprised many, though we were very clear after driving the car that Maruti has gone after aggressive prices and volumes on this one. And so it is staggering to see that instead of going up, prices have marginally dipped. Now compared to the Eon, and it is certainly looking just as pricey as it did when it came into the market last year, pretty much variant for variant. Compare yet again to the aging Santro, a superior car by class, and yet the consumer will see far more value in the Alto 800. But trump card or not, the prices predetermine Maruti's success with the revised Alto 800, and the company has been able to do this by keeping essentially the same platform but changing the top hat, improving drivability and to some extent the interiors on the Alto. The Eon on the other hand looks almost plush by comparison. The interiors have a better quality look and feel, and the seats are contoured, comfortable and more substantial.
First thing that grabbed me when I started driving this car, feels a lot like the old one. Now that's not very impressive because, you know, I would have liked to have been surprised or liked to have something that excited me. The way the steering feels, just the overall quality of plastics that I'm seeing here, the lack of very good seat comfort, all of that could have been better. Again, when you compare to the Eon, you'll definitely feel it. The engine noise, that's the other big downer for me. Why is this sounding so noisy inside the cabin, even at lower revs, at lower speeds? Again, not done. And the interiors won't impress you like the Eon's interiors impress you in terms of color, quality, everything. But now we come to the pluses. Handling has definitely gone up, and I think it's an improvement over the old car for sure. And again, in comparison to the Eon, it's going to feel more sure-footed, this car. And even the cabin space, even though they're not very different, this one gets you a sense of space which is a little bit better than the Eons.
And that is essentially why we will go back to the earlier point made. The Alto 800 could have, and frankly should have been, a step up for the consumer. Given Maruti's might, that step up need not have meant a steep price increase either. If the car looked, felt and drove much better than its predecessor, we think it could have hands down been the standout product of the year, and it would have taken the market by storm. It may still sell in massive numbers, but Maruti may have missed a vital opportunity here to take the higher ground on having more modern products than its rivals. But there's still enough in the new Alto 800 to keep buyers interested, especially as Diwali approaches, and so on sheer brand strength, this round still goes to the Maruti Suzuki.